Good morning, everyone. I'm Janek, this is Sarah and Luke, and we're going to be talking about Robert Sternberg and his theories of creativity and learning. And we're going to be integrating that with our, we've got an integrated program, so the creative media stream and particularly focusing on directing. So our activity will revolve around drawing up the storyboard. So we're actually going to start by showing you a video. That's one of Sarah's me, she's very proud of me. So just as you watch this, try and be aware of shot sizes and how the action and the characters are framed as we move through. Apologies, there's no sound, but we started.
Not this time. I promise. You're gonna be fine. You have to believe in me. You wanna play a game? We're gonna play hopscotch. Like we play every day. It's as easy as one. Whoa! 2, 3. All right. Now it's your turn. 1. That's it. 2, 3.
So first things first, anyone want to tell me what movie that's from? No? It's a film called Rise of the Guardian. It's a DreamWorks film, 2011. And so that's the scene of the main character, the main character's backstory. But who can tell me some of the shots we saw in that territory? But can anyone tell me some of the shots that we saw in that sequence? Yeah, zoom into feet, so close on the feet. So some close-ups.
Medium close-up.
What's that?
Medium close-up from
Yep.
hips up.
Anything else?
Extreme close-up.
Yep. Open the doors, extreme close-up. Anything else?
Wide shot. The whole scene.
We did. We saw a wide or long. Any others? No? What's that?
Music.
Well, no, we're focusing on the shots, the visual shots and stuff. But yeah, these are the main ones. What the others that we saw are kind of the in-betweens. So we've got close-ups and extremes. A long one. The other one we get is an extreme one. And there's a moment where we see the two of them on the ice and we're really framed by the scene in a good way. So we're going to actually show you examples of the different shots. So this is our extreme close-up. This is this tends to be used for stylistic purposes to set the mood and the scene. So in this instance, we actually see Jack's sister there, and we see his intense focus on her, so we know something's happening. Next. Big close-up, you'll notice he has white hair there. There isn't actually a big close-up in that scene, so I like to pull it from the movie. But the face dominates. The frame is actually cut off on either side, and this is again focusing on reaction, what's the character feeling, and it's connected to the close-up, which is the more traditional shot, which is focusing on dialogue, on facial displays. Mid close-up, we're starting to pull out now, we're seeing a bit more of the body posture and the action, but we're still very much character focused. Mid shot, that's where most of your action is going to happen in a movie, typically, because that gives you a good balance of recognizing character and seeing what's happening with their hands. Like the way I'm moving my arms like a crazy deer now because I haven't gone through what I do. Next. Mid-long shot, it's another quite common shot. That's, you're probably, at this point, you're cutting off in different places. So you're mid-close-up, you're cutting off across the chest, your mid-shot across the waist, mid-long probably about the knees or the shins. Your long shot, whole body. But probably only one character's whole body. You're starting to get more of the background into that, more of their environment. But we're still looking at action. That's where a lot of action and like big movement will happen. And finally, the extreme long shot. So there you see they're dominated by the environment, and there's a lot more. That's another like it was not very stylistic. So that's they become characters tend to become more insignificant within the environment of powers or the environment. So those are the 8 chief shots. Obviously, there are variations on every one, but those are what they are, and why we use them. So shots are what we put together to create a scene. So it's important we get that distinction, that the shots are the individual frames that we use, and the scene is what they're compiled to make them obviously compiled to make something in film. So the different shots, broadly speaking, there's 3 different, we use them for 3 different things. To show the different action things, obviously we have to know what's going on in the film. The audience has to be able to see what's happening to react to it. They evoke different moods, so the audience is getting how they're feeling. And finally, they give us different perspectives on the characters, how the characters position themselves around each other, and how they position within the world, both of which play part in building the characters themselves. So that's a very quick and very rough introduction to shot selection and shot size. In the handouts that we'll be getting in a sec, we'll have some sheets with the continuing explanation so that you have reference to that. But for the moment, we will introduce what our activities.
Alright, thank you. Okay, so we're going to get you all to create your own storyboards. So using these shot sizes, which we've just learned about, we're going to hand out some templates with some storyboards template which you can then choose to put in your shots, and it's up to you as to what shot size you select and what your drawing will be described to you. So in a scenario, so we're going to provide you with a scenario to give you something to work from, and you can go and draw. So as the templates are going out, I'm going to get you all to close your eyes. So for an activity, this is the scenario, I'm going to read it out to you. So I want everyone to concentrate and try and visualise what their shot will look like. So what you intend to draw in your template. So here's the scenario.
Also, we can see you, so we know if you're not closing your eyes.
Close your eyes. Thank you. Alright, so this is the scenario. Finn stands on the wreckage of the boat, alone in the still water. He sets himself, planting his feet. Red sees what he's doing. But he couldn't, could he? No one could survive that. Finn, totally calm, continues to position himself. Every serene movement tightening his focus. The gunner stands aboard the ship, waiting for the word to come that he can finally end this. Finn opens his eyes. He's ready. Finally, a sound breaks the heavy silence. One word. Fire! The gunner fires. The heavy lead shot flies at Finn in a trail of flame, but for all the fear he shows, it may as well be a leaf on the breeze. He knows this will work, because it has to. He remembers what he's learned, the man he has become. It will work. Shot and man meet, but Finn scoops the shot into his waiting hand, allows its momentum to turn him, and discards it heavily in the water. It worked. The silence is deafening. Alright. Open your eyes now. So that's your scenario. So before we get you started in drawing your own storyboards, I'm going to get Janek to give us a little head start. He's going to show us a shot size for the first couple of lines from the scenario. So I'll give this again. So Finn stands on the wreckage of the boat. So see what Janek got there. So you can see the shot size looks like. Does anyone know what the shot size might look like? Which shot? Streamline? Excellent. Yeah. So you can see, Finn's in the middle there in the ocean, and perfect. And so the next scene is he sets himself planting his feet. Any ideas of the shot size?
Yeah.
So we can focus in on the shoes. So that's what that's, and the feet are moving. Anything else to add? Okay. What I want to make sure you know is that it's not important. The quality of the drawing is not the issue here.
Clearly.
You can.
Clearly.
Yeah, great example here. We've got some nice stick figures. So that is perfectly okay. It's not about that. It's more about identifying that shot size and also putting into the lines below the boxes on the template the description of the shot size and the reason for that. So you might have a few words there. So
we're going to give you 6 or 7 minutes to get through it. We'll be the three of us will be wandering around. The scenario stays on the board, and you may have a copy of it, but definitely have sheets with the different shot sizes.
On the back of your activity brief, you've got the scenario written down. Use that. We can't be sustainable without printing.
yeah, you do have a few templates, so you can draw as many as you want. You can start at any point that you want. It might be nice to start at the beginning, but it's up to you.
If anyone needs any more storyboard templates, you have some more at the front.
Don't be worried, it's not a race, it's not who can get the most shots in the quickest. Make a start, have something represented so that you can see how you start representing this. Yes.
That page of the scenario, feel free to mark or separate the different shots in the story by drawing lines to separate them or colouring them, whatever you like. Yeah.
I've got everything. Yeah, I grabbed it. Thank you.
They were fairly attractive. Okay guys, that's time's up for the storyboarding. Hope you all enjoyed that individual learning activity. Now what we're going to do is bring it into a group discussion. So all of you within your groups probably have progressed to different stages of the storyboard. Some of you might have filled in 3 squares, and that's fine. Others of you might have filled in the first 8 boxes, and that's fine as well. So we're just going to give you a minute or 2 to discuss within your groups what were the shots that everyone had. So were there any common shots? Did you all have a mid shot? Did you all have a close-up in there? We want you to establish if there were any shots that you'd drawn that were unique and different to your classmates. It's just about comparing what you've done, and start to have a think about why you think you might have used the shots you did, and were there any different shots that you might have used. So discuss within your groups.
And we'll get one person from each table maybe to just give us maybe 1 point if they came to the group.
The other one is focused on red. Well, we should be in the background. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to bring it back to the front. Can we just get one person from each group to share any common themes within your storyboards, or talk about something different that you did? So we'll start off with this table.
Right.
Did anyone want to share?
Yes, actually we have got all the shots. We have, like, all of us have done like 2 or 3 shots. So, and all of them have been similar. So the first one was a extreme long shot, because we thought that the focus should be on more background and person. So because the audience wants to see what is happening in this information, what the image is.
So it's establishing the
Yes.
setting. Yep.
And then the second one we chose, well, it's a medium long shot, but over here the focus is on red. So because we want to see the red expressions, while Finn is still in the background, because so we know that the focus is on him, but what he's looking at, so the audience knows what exactly is happening over there. And then the third shot is again a medium long shot. We have actually medium close up over there. So we all have chosen that, but I was thinking if the movie is going on, what I would do, I haven't seen that movie, but I would focus the camera on his face and then go towards the feet, because now he is all settled, so the audience wants to see his expressions and then see exactly what is happening. So there's like a bit of sort of, a curiosity going on, some drama going on. What's going to happen down there? Is it just going to crack? Or what is down there? Is it just settled over there? So yeah, that was the point. We all thought of that exactly, actually, but I we'll be moving on.
So you've actually gone beyond the shot size. You're
Yes,
starting
you
to
did
talk
as
about
well.
movement.
So you
Wow, you're very gifted for a year 9. Over here. Did anyone want to share the common?
The common thing with us, the common shot with us was the long shot at the start. So Finn standing on the red. And I think a few of us had the red sees what he's doing. We sort of bring it back to the closer of the red line.
Yeah, so that's quite different to this group here. It shows the divisions might be quite individual to you guys. Yeah.
We were saying we pretty much got quite similar things, but with slight variations. But we like the idea, we all think about the idea of having eye shot, like, for example,
You all made quite a stylistic choice there. Nice one. Thank you very much for sharing that, everyone. We have something to reveal to you, actually. That scenario was not just a narrative that we wrote ourselves. It comes from an actual film that we're about to reveal to you. So I'm just going to show you.
Did anyone guess what it was?
Yeah.
Yes.
Kung Fu Panda, yeah. Some of you might be familiar with it, and that might have influenced your storyboards. For some of you, that might have been a totally new.
We did change the names, by the way. If you reckon you brains to remember who Finn is, it doesn't exist. But, yeah.
So we'll show you which scene we narrated just then, and you can think about how it differed to your vision based on that narrative. Let's see.
Hi! Inner peace.
Okay, so did anybody else have a storyboard that looks quite similar to that?
we had the eyes.
Yeah, the eyes. Fantastic. You've got a similar vision to the director there, which is great. Yeah, we'll go back to the, yeah, we'll wrap it up there for our lesson. What did we learn today from that exercise? And we have one key takeaway from this group here.
And we'll just get into the camera shots.
Yeah.
So we basically learn what camera shot is important to emphasize on what's actually not only going on the screen, but also what the character is thinking. So emotional.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah.
So how different shot sizes can evoke different emotions.
Yes.
Fantastic, we'll have to wrap it up there and move on to our learning theory and how we kind of framed our activity around this. So I'll pass it on to Janek.
Yeah, so as I said in our introduction, our focus was on Robert Sternberg, his theories of creativity in learning. And we start, so I'll just briefly introduce Robert Sternberg. That is Robert Sternberg. He is not Montgomery Burns. That's the first thing we need to know. This man, very trustworthy. This man, not trustworthy. Okay? So that's why we're studying this man and not that. So he's a psychologist and psychometrician. Psychometrician, for those who don't know, is about finding ways to assess and evaluate psychology. So that's educational outcomes, affective outcomes. He's particularly interested in the affective side. And he's known for the theory of successful intelligence, investment theory, and triage theory, which we're going to cover. And he's a big proponent of teaching creativity as a means to boost cognitive, academic, entrepreneurial skills in young people, to develop skills that make them not just academically intelligent, but socially and emotionally intelligent, and able to function at a high level in society. So Sternberg's view of intelligence cannot really be defined in terms of standardized testing. He's one of the people trying to create assessments that measure these effective outcomes. But it's assessed through how people function in everyday life. It's sometimes called big C versus little c creativity as well. So creativity, little c, is just how we apply information to novel situations. So we find ourselves in everything. Someone who's considered intelligent in one culture may not be in another, so this is another reason why affective assessment is important, because these can be cross-cultural. Cache diseases, there may be a cognitive or academic. And finally, Sternberg's theory integrates creativity with intelligence. He views creativity not as an addition to intelligence or an extra skill, but as a key component of a student's intelligence.
Cool. So, with that with the triarchic theory of intelligence, there are three ways of thinking which Sternberg emphasises and that equate to the successful intelligence that he talks about. So the three ways of thinking is the creative, the analytic, and the practical. So creative obviously covers generative creation, invention, discovery, and the ability to deal with the novel. We've got analytic, which is the ability to evaluate, critique, compare, judge, assess, abstract thinking, and logical reasoning. And practical, which is used for pragmatic application, use, put into practice, and implementation. IQ tests tend to focus only on this analytic side of thinking, whereas this theory is putting together those three components as equally important. And how that relates to the lesson that you just saw. So the three types of thinking were incorporated. And so, for example, we allowed you to acquire the knowledge of shot types. So we gave you this knowledge, and you could assess how and why to use the shot size in your storyboards. And so that's covering the analytic side. For the creative, we've got you all to create the storyboards as well. So that's a cross between that analytic, creative, and practical of applying into the storyboard. So that's using that new knowledge and the application of the activity. All right.
Cool. So I'm just going to skip over that because we don't really have time. But Sternberg actually gives 24 really practical ways to enhance creativity in a lesson. So obviously we couldn't incorporate all 24 ways into our lesson, but we chose to follow a couple of things which Sternberg really promotes in creativity. So one of them was modelling creativity. So you saw that Janek actually shared his own storyboarding, his own drawings, and really emphasised that it's not about the artistic side of the drawing, it's just about getting your vision on paper. Building self-efficacy, so the main limitation on what students can do is what they think they can do. So this activity was really framed around the idea that all students have the capacity to be creative with their own personal visions, and we've aimed to help them believe in their ability to be creative by taking the focus off the drawing side of it. Encourage question assumptions. So we'd included some thought-provoking questions into the discussion section. So encouraging students to question what they perceive about shot sizes and why they use the shot sizes they did. Encourage idea generation. So we kind of incorporated that by creating an environment which fosters idea generation by allowing students to create their own storyboard and also to share it within a group. We also kind of highlighted the individual differences in what the filmmaker would produce versus what the students would produce, and that there's no right or wrong. We tolerated ambiguity in the fact that we've emphasised that the storyboard, it's not a black and white activity, it's encouraged students to embrace that grey area and there is no right or wrong. We'd also kind of asserted that a creative idea tends to come in bits and pieces and develops over time, and that the storyboard is just the very beginning of a very long creative journey. Teaching self-responsibility, so through the discussion at the end we allowed students to share their choice of shot sizes and why they chose them. So we kind of encourage them to take responsibility and understand their creative process, be able to criticise themselves, and also to take pride in their best creative work. Delayed gratification, I guess that comes into a lot of creative works, particularly filmmaking, because the storyboard is just a small stepping stone to a much larger film production. So their sense of gratification will come at the end of the film, and perhaps in that activity it came when the final Kung Fu Panda scene was actually revealed. Creative collaboration, so having them design their own storyboards individually but then sharing it with others kind of offered them that opportunity for creative collaboration. And find excitement. Hopefully we were able to make that activity exciting, and we felt that the addition of memes helped with that because Year 9s love memes and the internet. And I think that's where we will leave it. We've cited some works with some reference pages there, because one does not simply make a PowerPoint without a works cited page. And we got one there too. Thank you very much for listening. We hope you enjoyed it.